Okay, I think I'm going live now. Hello everybody, my name is Shubhamnan, and in today's video we're going to be talking to you guys about Major Hurricane Ian and how it's going to be impacting the Florida coast. We are currently live. Right now. I'm just checking to make sure that we are live. Yes, we are live. So hello everybody. Welcome to a live weather emergency briefing on Major Hurricane Ian and how we're going to be talking to you guys, showing on tropical tidbits. We currently have the Ghost 17 satellite imagery. I'm going to be talking to you guys about how this hurricane is forecasted to impact Florida, and we're going to be comparing different model lines to see how the latest track has shifted. But right now, I'm just going to let it settle down, wait for people to log in and hopefully find this live emergency briefing very important for you guys. So this is the Florida. You can see the South Florida right now. It is currently almost due west of Key West. Key West is just outside of the outer band. I mean, it's in the outer band, but it's not like in the eye wall. It's gonna get brushed currently right now. It is currently time to prepare in South Florida is dwindling, especially if we live in Fort Myers and Naples. And we'll be looking at the different hurricane model lines. We'll be looking at National Hurricane Center to show you guys. This is looking very dangerous right now. As you can see, look at the eye wall right there. That is a beautiful eye wall, almost pierce symmetry, and you have some deep convections to the south and to the east, south and west of the system. But it looks very, very healthy from it when it made landfall. Today, but it looks very, very. That's going to cause major devastation for South Florida and mostly the west coast of Florida near Tampa Bay, if not just south of Tampa Bay. So you can see this is the satellite. We're just going to be looking at this, letting hopefully people to come in, ask questions if you guys want to. And please subscribe to our channel. It's our very first live stream, so hopefully it goes well. I plan live stream for 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, who knows. If we can get people in this live stream who can comment and ask questions, I'll be there to answer your question. So let's quickly look at, we're quickly going to look at the National Hurricane Center, what they recently issued for Major Hurricane Ian is currently now at 120 miles per hour. It is moving at north at 10 miles per hour. I think it's been shifting a little bit. It's been wobbling back and forth. I think it's moving more northeast, but it could still be moving in a generally direction of north. With the pressure of 952 millibars, which is quite low, it is still falling, and it's forecast to continue to fall as it makes its way towards South Florida. So let's look at let's look at the cone and the watches and warnings. So this is the cone with the watches and warning currently. You can see right here, this is the major hurricane. We got hurricane warnings for pretty much from Tampa Bay, north side Tampa Bay, all the way down to Fort Myers. And you can see it is forecasted to slow down dramatically from basically maybe moving, I don't know, 80 miles, maybe 70 miles in a span of 12 hours from as it makes landfall as a major hurricane, and then it's going to be moving inland near Tampa Bay. This month, the center of circulation is forecast to go just south and east, but we'll show you guys how the models have been trending. It's been trending a little bit southeast of Tampa Bay, which is a good thing, but no problem is it's also slowing down, so Tampa could easily get 15 to 20, maybe some miles hinting almost 24 inches of rain, which is 2 feet of rain, which will cause major problems in the Tampa Bay metro area because they still expect some storm surge. But if you get 20 inches of rain, that's going to pretty much cancel out, make a problem because the storm surge can go back into the bay or into the ocean because there's so much flooding. So you need to make sure your preparation is getting underway. Let's look at another one, which is the arrival time. And as you can see right now, pretty much the earliest one is by 8 p.m. tonight. I want all of South Florida from southwest Florida from Naples up to Fort Myers, maybe pretty much from sunset tonight. Tampa Bay needs to be prepared. If you have to evacuate, evacuate now. They've been already mandatory evacuations for much of Tampa Bay. Hillsborough County, which is just west, includes St. Peter's, and then also Pinellas and down towards the south. So this is what it's looking. Looks pretty bad, but we're here to let you guys know how it is forecasted. So by 2 a.m. tomorrow, pretty much from sunset tonight, it's gonna come. You'll be impacted with the rain and then the gusty winds, which will cause some major problems for this area. So now we'll be looking at the. Let's look at the rainfall probability currently. Look at that. That is devastating rainfall for Central Florida. Another problem with this is people comparing this to Hurricane Charlie because the path is forecasted to go to Tampa, but it might go south of Tampa. But even if you evacuate, let's say you want to go to Orlando, Florida, that's not much better. But look at that rainfall. 15 to 20 inches of rainfall for Tampa Bay and just north of Orlando. This is devastating. I mean, even as far north as Jacksonville can get over 10 inches of rain, most likely. Even Gainesville can get close to 10 inches of rain, but Orlando, you're also under hurricane warning, and you're forecasting almost 10, 15 inches of rain, which is incredible to see. But I'm really going to be focusing a lot about Tampa Bay because Tampa Bay gets a lot of flooding, especially if you live just outside of Tampa Bay near St. Petersburg. And that can cause a lot of problem with the storm surge as well. So we're going to look at different models in a few minutes, but just waiting for people. Hopefully some people can join this live stream. We can get a couple subscribers. That'll be meaning a lot to us. Now we're going to be looking at the peak surge and what has changed. Alright, so this is a little bit different from yesterday when we recorded our video. So yesterday we were talking about how Tampa was in the sweet spot of 5 to 10 feet of storm surge. Because the track is shifted just south of Tampa Bay, like right about here, where my cursor is, near Sarasota, which is just south of Tampa Bay. That's why I think they've increased the storm surge too, because they've decreased storm surge from Tampa Bay to only 4 to 6 feet, but since Tampa Bay is still in the cone of uncertainty, if this storm system wobbles a little bit to the left, to the west, it can still impact Tampa Bay. But the reason why they're seeing less because if it goes south of Tampa Bay, you're gonna have a northeast breeze in Tampa Bay, which will cause the water to move out of the bay and into the ocean. So you won't get too much problem in Tampa Bay, but if you go south, because it's going to slow down, and whoever is south and east of the storm systems are going to get inundated with the heavy rainfall as well as the storm surge. So if you live south of Tampa Bay, north of Naples and Fort Myers, I'm going to be listing out some towns if you guys live in these areas to know that it's time to evacuate or expect the worst. So if you live near Bradenton, if you live near Cape Coral, if you live in Sarasota, that region, especially Sarasota, I'm really worried about Sarasota down to Cape Coral. Currently, if you look at the radar, Cape Coral is seeing some heavy rainfall already with the outer bands already getting just near Tampa Bay. But overall, still 6 to 9 feet near Naples and Fort Myers, 3 to 5 feet for the Keys, which is currently, if you've been seeing some of those live cameras, which I've been watching throughout the day, they have already seen they're getting close to 3 to 5 feet of storm surge. And don't forget, you might get even 4 to 6 feet near Savannah. 3 to 5 feet of storm surge in Savannah, because this is forecast to go inland a little bit, and which would drag in and slows down. It will drag in because as it moves inland, it's going to bring the southeasterly winds onshore, and it's going to slow down, which is why you might see 3 to 5, 4 to 6 feet of storm surge forecasted for that region. So now that's how it looks like in storm surge. We showed you the rainfall. And now let's look at we'll quickly look at, now we're going to go back to the infrared satellite and show you guys how it is starting. The whites, so here in the infrared satellite, you can see the eye. Sorry about the yawn, but you can see how the eye looks like. It's definitely getting bigger, and the outer band, it looks like it's more dominant in the south of the storm system, but as it moves towards the east, we'll show you guys there'll be some dry and some shear, which will impact the storms, which is why it's weakening. It will forecast weaken, but it is currently strengthening, and it's forecast to be nearly a Category 4 at landfall. So now let's look at some forecast models before we get back to this. So we're going to look at the southeast. First, we're going to start with the southeast forecast. And let's go with the European model. This is ECMFW, which is one of the European models. We'll be looking at how it's forecasted. It's an older model, and this is the 12Z. And we'll show you guys. I'll zoom out real quickly for you guys to see. Alright, so here it is. Currently, it's a little stronger than what it is right now. So it's a little late, but this is 1 o'clock, so a couple hours ago. You can see it's forecasted to move to north and east. At this is at 7 p.m. tonight. It's a little bit slow. I mean, it's a little weaker, so you could add in another 10 millibar to that. Then it's going to interfere with some dry and some shear, and it's going to it continues to strengthen rapidly and make landfall just south of Tampa Bay with a 959 millibar storm, which will impact just south near Sarasota. And this will be either a Category 4 or if not either a Category 3 if not a Category 4. I would prepare for a Category 4. Pretty much you have maybe a few hours to evacuate and take shelter. I'll be going live tomorrow morning as well, just to see what the latest update and how it looks like on the infrared satellite. So we forecasted to make landfall right pretty much over Tampa Bay is a 957 millibar storm system. A few days ago we were talking about how it might go to the west, but it's not forecast to go to the west because of the steering pattern. The trough is a little stronger than expected, and the high pressure system up in the northeast is a little weaker. Both are going to collapse, which is why it's forecasted to stall. Look at this. So it makes landfall roughly 7 p.m. If depending on my golf practice, I might go live as it makes landfall. And 7 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, and then by around 1 p.m. on Thursday, so almost 24 hours, this is what it's forecast to do. It's forecasted to continue to move in that direction as it moves to the north and to the east. That's going to be impacting places like Orlando, Florida, with a maybe Category 1 hurricane over Orlando, and it's going to make its way. And now it's going to slow down. This model one's a little slowing down near Jacksonville and Orlando, dumping heavy rain. And if this occurs like this, you're going to be having devastating impacts and storm surge in Savannah, as well as Charleston, Myrtle Beach, all these places. I don't know about Myrtle Beach, but more like Hilton Head as well. This will continue to slow down and move its way to north and east with some shear, making it weaker. But if it stays over water, it may strengthen or maintain its strength, but it's going to cause a lot of problems as this moves inland, in fact, impacting Atlanta and Charlotte and Greenville, Spartanburg, Clemson, and there's also the Braves game this weekend, so that might be impacted. I think will be impacted a lot with some heavy rain and some gusty winds, and then it'll dissipate by the weekend. It should be gone. So let's look at the relative humidity to show you guys why why am I showing this? Is because this is gonna maybe impacting it a little bit with some dry air that could impact limiting its strength to become category 5, maybe weakening at the end. So you can see this is 7 p.m. today. You can see there's a lot of dry air to the west, which might impact it, but we'll see. And it might weaken it just a tiny bit because you have a lot of dry, which is why you have some fire watches from Louisiana, even the Florida Panhandle, which was forecasted to be hit a few days ago, but now it's not. But as it continues to move to the northeast, it may tend to get some dry on the south side of the storm system, which is why the north, if you look at the precip forecast as it makes landfall, it is more of a, you can see there's less of, the winds are less and the rainfall is a little less for the south half of the storm system compared to north and northwest. That could be impacting it because of the relative humidity being a little bit drier. The storm system is forecasted to have some drier, you can see on the south side of the storm system. So as it approaches landfall, it should be more of a north dominant. Like the worst of the weather will be north half, and then once you get the eye wall, the south half may not be as bad as the north half. So it may be, that's only saving grace because the strong winds will not be the entire circulation, will be more of the north part. But as it continues to move in to the south, a lot of dry air. It's going to impact the storm system to the south, pretty much cutting it down and just leaving it as a north half of a storm system. And then it continues to slow down and just gather in moisture over here. This time it'll be more of south, and it's crazy to see relative humidity at 20-30% after right by the hurricane comes in South Florida. What's causing this is that there's a cold front that's coming in. We'll show you guys right now with temperature forecast as well. Before I show you guys the temperature, I think we'll put the temperature counters. No, we'll show you guys the temperature temp anomalies. Alright, so this is currently, but you can see there's just a lot of cold air coming up, which is why in the Midwest you can see out ahead of it, it's just a lot of cold air. Currently, there's a frost advisory for Galesburg. It's been very cold the last few days since pretty much Saturday. We've been well below average. The cold front's gonna come down, interact with the storm system, which is why look at that very cold weather. You're seeing 8 to 10 degrees below average for Louisiana. And then as the storm system moves a little south, the cold front usually tends to bring dry air, which is what it's forecasted to impact this storm system, which could limit the intensity for this storm, which is why it could be category 3, could be a category 2, but always prepare for a category 4. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at the total precip as the storm system moves out by the weekend. And here it is. This is the European model, more of a conservative one. The GFS is more crazy. We'll show you guys in a few minutes, but from now to the weekend, this is why I feel like it's worse case scenario, because in Tampa Bay, they're forecasting over 20 inches of rain, close to 20 inches of rain in Tampa Bay. Orlando, close to 20 inches. Pretty much 12 to 20 inches for Tampa and Orlando. As well as Jacksonville, they're expecting a lot of rainfall as well. They might see a lot of rainfall as well, over for the rain, pretty much from Jacksonville down to Tampa near Fort Myers. Even Miami's going to see 3 to 6 inch rain, which is not a good thing to see in Miami, because 3 to 6 inch rain could cause a lot of impact because they're already seeing some flooding. It's a low-lying area. They get a lot of flooding during a high tide. You might get some 2 to 4 feet of storm surge as well. Savannah might see 4 to 8 inches, and as far north as Atlanta, Knoxville, even near Charlotte, you might pick up 2 to 5 inches of rain. That's going to cause a lot of problems, especially up in the mountains. because as you go up in the mountains, you will get some more runoff, which will cause some problems. So rainfall, I think, is the most important impact, plus the storm surge. Not as much the wind because it's Florida. They have a strict policy on how to build houses. But the problem, another problem with the storm system is on top of that, as it's weakening, it's gonna grow. The storm system is, if I show you guys how it looks right now in satellite imagery for Ian, you can just see how big the storm system is, over 500 miles wide, and as it continues to get stronger, it's gonna get bigger, and as it weakens, it will get even bigger. The storm system could be 700 miles wide by the time it nears landfall. So a lot of rainfall and a lot of problems expecting from the storm system near the Tampa Bay Fort Myers area. So now let's look at the GFS. We'll look at the 8 and we'll look at the 12Z and let's compare the GFS to the European model. So we're gonna be looking into the southeast, and let's show you guys what the GFS is forecasting. GFS is a little bit, actually, in my opinion, GFS has done better than the European model on the storm system. So let's see what GFS is saying. Nobody's on live stream, unfortunately, which is sad, but we'll keep going. If nobody shows up or nobody comments anything, I'll end the live stream in like 20-30 minutes. So it's 9:67, currently it's 9:52, and it's forecast. I'll show you guys day and time. This is Wednesday. This is 7 p.m. today. Just gonna be just west of Key West, very strengthening hurricane. This is gonna be roughly when you wake up tomorrow. This is 1 p.m. Again, 7 p.m. 1 p.m. 7 p.m. Look at that, not much of movement. And then it makes landfall. Once again, this looks like, based on to what I'm thinking about, the north and the west side of the storm system will be the worst. The south part may not be as bad because of the dry air, which we'll show you guys. So let's compare right here. Let's compare right here. So this is showing near just south of Tampa Bay. And let's see what the ECFF. So you can see a little bit of a difference currently. It is a little bit faster. The European model is making landfall. If I move it to right about here, it's 9:57. Just pretty much south of Tampa Bay. Let's see. That's what it says right there. So you can see what it. I'm not doing anything. Hello? Hello, everybody? Hello? Hello? Am I still live? Hello? Hello? Let me just check. Am I still going live? I think I'm still live. Yeah, I'm still live. Alright. Sorry about that, everybody. I had a quick problem right there. So, alright, yeah. So let me go back and discuss. So we're back Everybody saw I had some technical difficulties right there. So let's go discuss about, we're talking about the difference between the European model and the GFS model. So let's show you guys the difference once again. So that's what we were talking about last time. So we're looking at the European model. This is about roughly 4 p.m. And this is roughly 4 p.m. Wednesday, which is tomorrow, exactly this time when I'm live streaming. We'll see what difference between this one and the GFS is right now. We'll quickly go back to we're gonna go to the 12Z. We'll go right about here. So we got 1 o'clock difference. Let's see where the GFS is compared to European model real quickly. And I can see there's a little bit of a difference. It's not too easy to tell, but European model is a little bit more. Let's check real quickly. This is 1 p.m. Yeah, the European model is a little bit more, tiny bit to it's a lot more closer to landfall. I'll just say that it is way closer to impacting the land than the GFS. The latest one, so it's gonna be a little challenging because the latest one is coming in. So I'll just look at it frame by frame, just to see the difference between the European and GFS as it continues to load in. So you can see it. So this is what it's, so GFS is saying it's going to make landfall at 0Z, which is 7 p.m. tomorrow. That's about the same time as the European model, if I'm not mistaken. European model has landfall at 4 p.m., so they're about the same. Maybe 3 hours apart is I see a difference. It's 3 hours apart. Which is 7 p.m. tomorrow. That's what I see right now. So they're pretty much in line. I mean, this is the latest, so we're analyzing the latest GFS model one as it's starting to load. The GFS has a little bit east and a tiny bit north with a weaker storm system at the same time. Let's see what it is at 0Z966. So it's a little bit weaker. Let's see where it is. Alright, so we're trying to see the difference between the GFS and European. And yeah, European's a little bit stronger, and it's a little bit more south and east of the latest GFS model, but it's pretty much like 10 miles apart, maybe 15 miles difference. But the European's a lot more stronger, and it's a lot more east loaded than the GFS. Let's confirm that again. Yeah, the GFS is a little bit more, yeah, they're both east loaded, but the GFS is a little bit weaker of a storm system making landfall. A little bit more northeast, more impacting Tampa Bay. And it's forecast to show some more heavy rain over Tampa Bay as it continues to move to northeast. This is when you wake up. See what the European has there. Yeah, European is definitely southeast, but they're pretty much in line as it gets over Orlando by pretty much when you wake up over Orlando. You know, look at GFS. Same thing, just a little bit weaker. They're both in line, saying that near Sarasota is going to be the most impacted for where the landfall is going to be located in. You can see some heavy rain here. This is 7 p.m. on Thursday. Has not moved a lot. European model is now showing a little bit more of it northeast, but difference, there's not much of a difference. They're both in line, in my opinion, which is good to see. That we're literally maybe 24 hours away from landfall, and both models agree that just south Tampa and near Sarasota will be making landfall, and it'll move its way to northeast, weakening like it's supposed to, but providing some coastal flooding and potentially some storm surge for the coast of South Carolina and Georgia near Savannah. So everything's looking good. Just starting the live stream. Sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties, and my roommate came in, which was a little awkward, but we are all fine. So let's see how much rainfall is forecast from the storm system. Let's see if they have it. I don't know if we'll be able to load in time. Okay, this is what it's showing you from right now. It is showing a little bit more. Let's see what the previous model is. Let's try to figure out. I think it's southeast shift. Yeah, definitely. It's shifted a tiny bit to the southeast, but it still includes Tampa Bay. But it's also increased more rainfall for Orlando. I think Orlando could see over 2 feet of rain, according to the GFS. Let's see what the European model is hinting. European model is less bullish, less intense in the rainfall. Still, Tampa Bay may see 8 to 10 inches, maybe 12 inches, 8 to 12 inches of rain. Orlando might see 10 to 15 inches of rain. Jacksonville might see 15 inches of rain as well. So now let's look at another model, not the most accurate model one, but another one. I'm just interested to see what this model one has to offer. It is the Icon model, the latest Icon model, just to see how it differs from the other models. So Icon is definitely, I could see a difference, big difference between the Icon. I'll zoom in. It's a lot earlier. It's forecast to make landfall. This is a lot earlier. A lot earlier. This is forecast to make landfall 1 o'clock tomorrow. Maybe just between 10 and 1. Which, if that occurs, I might be in class, but I might be able to be alive during that time too. And it's forecast to make landfall as a 9:57, which is not much of a difference right now. So it will be a strong category 3, maybe in the category 4. It's also east loaded, north loaded, and east loaded, because let's just double check. Does this also show? This is, I don't think we'll be able to see it. No, it doesn't have that. So there'll be a lot of dry air intruding from the south because of the cold front as it gets wrapped around. So it's going to be a north half over. But look at that, a lot of rainfall for Orlando. Skirts just south of Tampa Bay, and then it'll strengthen a little bit. This one's weird. I don't believe that it's forecasted to make another landfall, another strong hurricane. I don't think that's going to happen because it's a lot of shear. As the cold front moves in, it'll probably be weakened, and it'll make its land near Savannah and Charleston with some heavy rainfall. So let's see how much rainfall is forecasted going to the Icon model. I like to see the Icon model to see it's a lot narrower of a band, but wherever the band sets up, could be Tampa Bay, could be literally from Tampa Bay to Atlanta to Fort Myers. That band system could produce easily 12 to 20 to 24 inches of rain. So 1 to 2 feet of rainfall could be expected in the next few days till the weekend. So folks, let's continue to see the satellite imagery of Hurricane Ian as we see. If you guys have any questions, no questions yet, no comments, unfortunately. But look at that. The latest trend is, look at that. It's more symmetrical. The eye looks really, really nice. As it gets more symmetrical, it is getting stronger as it moves its way away from the coastline of Cuba. It is continuing to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Let's look at the model's intensity from Tropical Tidbits. As we'll be looking at Hurricane Ian, let's look at where the spaghetti models are currently located. I'm going to zoom in right now. So you can see the spaghetti models have been trending a lot more east, because when we first recorded the video, I think on Friday, we showed landfall potentially as far north and east as Tallahassee and Pensacola. And then they shifted towards Cedar Key, towards Tampa Bay. And now majority of the models are south and east of Tampa Bay near Sarasota, maybe as far north as Fort Myers. If not Sarasota, down to Cape Canaveral, Florida. But this consensus will go over Orlando as a hurricane. And some are predicting that it may go across near Jacksonville, get into the ocean, and it impacts Savannah, Georgia, or maybe Hilton Head, South Carolina, with another landfall potential impacting. Alright, so that's that. Now let's look at the intensity guidance. This is from Tropical Tidbits, GFS. So the GFS is a little bit more weaker, as we were talking about, tiny bit weaker, and they're a little bit more northeast, and they still hinting that some still hinted that it may go into Florida Panhandle. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that's gone. You should not look at that. I think you should be prepared from Tampa Bay. This one showed the direct landfall in Tampa Bay, which I think could happen if not a little bit more to the south and to the east. But they're all showing pretty much a strong landfall somewhere in the 960s, maybe some 950s, making landfall near Tampa Bay. Alright, now we're gonna go with the intensity. Let's first look at the GEPS, another GFS one. That's pathetic. I'm not looking at that one. That's useless. Alright, so we're gonna be looking at intensity. So, some still hint that maybe Category 4. Majority of them, I think, will be Category 4. It could be a weak Category 4. It could briefly touch Category 4. The Hurricane Center, National Hurricane Center, has a Category 4. But then, we're between 24 and 36 hours, so it's going to be a Category 3 at landfall before it just decrease in intensity because it's going to be interfering with land. Some has it still as a Category 1, maybe a tropical storm as it gets over the Atlantic near Tallahassee, or not Tallahassee, near Jacksonville, Florida. So now we're going to go back and look at we're talking to you guys. Here is the forecast from the National Hurricane Center, which we showed you. We have hurricane warnings from Pinellas all the way down towards Fort Myers, and tropical storm warnings for pretty much the entire coast of Florida, from Panama City down to Key West, all the way to Jacksonville, with a tropical storm watch potential issue for the coastline, including Savannah, Hilton Head, and Charleston, South Carolina. Now I'm going to be continue showing you guys the infrared satellite for major hurricane Ian. So guys, thank you guys for all the support you guys been doing on this channel. This channel it's been hard keeping up with this channel, I'll tell you the truth, because I've been gone for golf. I'm in the golf team here at college. And we've been gone, I think we missed 5 days of school, and it's only just started week 3, so do the math, we missed 50% of school days, almost. Roughly 50% of school days we've missed, so it's hard to keep up with work and school. But once the season ends, which is this weekend, we'll expect more live streams. This is the very first live stream, so I don't expect it to do well, but if you can get some views, it'll be nice. But I'm just letting you guys know that I'm going to keep on practicing, fine-tune this YouTube channel, because I was about everybody. In a few weeks, I will maybe have things. Better weather services, we might be using Radar Mega, we might use GSVR, we'll see. But I'm just going to let you guys know we're here to support you guys, and here to give you guys the latest information. You can see how we're starting to see potentially some taller thunderstorms wrapping around the northern side of the eye. We have a couple more hours of summer of the daytime, but once night sun sets, I think that's when the thunderstorms tend to blossom more. That's when hurricanes tend to really intensify more overnight, because they have cooling up top and warm waters, which usually means thunderstorms will develop. But it's looking very, very, look at the latest frame. It is a completely symmetrical eye. I mean, since we started this live stream, it was a little ragged, but look at that. It is completely circled. It looks like a perfect cylinder circle, which is very, very dangerous. That's going to be impacting. And if you've been looking at it, it's been wobbling. It was starting here, it was moving northeast, then quickly moved a tiny bit northwest. In fact, I think it's still moving due north, which is going to be impacting. We have not seen a proper northeast. We've seen a tiny bit of northeast movement, but it's been jogging to the left a lot. But it's a very, very healthy storm system that it's going to be impacting Florida pretty much in 24 hours, making landfall between 24 and 36 hours near near Sarasota. You can see where Tampa Bay is in the Ghost 16 satellite. Tampa Bay is right about here. I think it'll make landfall somewhere in this region near Sarasota, down to Bradenton, maybe as far south as Cape Canaveral. Well, this looks like a very devastating earthquake. A hurricane that's going to be impacting millions of people. Hope you guys are doing your evacuation plan, have evacuation orders, be mandatory evacuation. Please take that. It's very important, but especially the storm surge will go back to the National Hurricane Center for people who just tuning into live stream. So let's go to the experiment peak storm surge. As you can see, 8 to 12 feet from Charlotte Harbor all the way to near Sarasota, on Bradenton Beach, with 8 to 12 feet of storm surge. Tampa Bay expects 4 to 6 feet of storm surge, and the Big Bend 3 to 5 feet. If you go down towards Cape Canaveral, south of that, near Fort Myers, down to Naples, 4 to 6 to 9 feet, and then the Keys 2 to 4 to 3 to 5 feet. And then the reason why there's a lot here is that it's going to slow down again and linger, and it slows down, it's going to cause some major flooding and storm surge for Savannah, down towards Jacksonville, all the way up to Charleston and Hilton Head region. So those are very low country, so that area could get a lot of problems. So now we're going to go back to the arrival time. So if anyone is joining in right now, you'll see this is the earliest probability of tropical storm force wind gusts. It's currently there. I think this is a little outdated. I think it's about a few hours. I think pretty much from sunset, if you in Tampa Bay down to Fort Myers, expect tropical winds. You're already seeing 80 miles. You're already seeing gusts up to 30 to 40 near Key West, and even southwest Florida get close to tropical storms currently. Wind gusts. And then the next 3 days, again, showing guys that near Orlando by pretty much sunrise. Once you wake up tomorrow, it'll be tropical storm wind gusts are likely near Orlando, Jacksonville by 2 p.m., 8 p.m. near Savannah, and then Charleston by Thursday morning. So now we'll look at the cone as well for anyone who's going to be watching this later. Major hurricane landfall near Fort Myers, Sarasota, like we've talked about. Hurricane near Orlando, and then tropical storms. It may be a tropical storm as it makes landfall, a secondary landfall near Savannah. And then we'll look at the rainfall probability potential. You can see 15 to 20 inches for Tampa Bay near Orlando. That's going to cause a lot of flooding. Models are hinting probably close to 20 inches of rain for Orlando, maybe in Tampa Bay as well. So at least be prepared for a 1.5 foot rainfall for Tampa Bay and Orlando. I think that's a safe bet. And then farther south, you go less rainfall because it's going to interfere with dry air, like we've talked about. Dry air will cause some major problems for the storm system and will choke it in the south, but north and west of land where the eye is going to be the worst weather for you guys. So the worst impact that will be impacting millions of people in the central peninsula of Florida. And don't forget folks up in Jacksonville and Savannah, 6 to 10 inches, maybe 10 to 15 for Jacksonville, 6 to 10 for Savannah, 6 to 10 for Charleston, Wilmington, all that area. That's not good because add in the 4 to 6 feet of storm surge, top of the 6 to 10 inches of rain, the water will rise. It'll be a hard time for coming down, and you may see some major flooding in Charleston and Savannah. So we'll look at the wind history currently. You can see that the hurricane wind field has been expanding, as well as the tropical storm winds as well. So guys, if you guys are living in, like I'm telling you guys, time to prepare. It is now. Please board up everything if you're in the path of landfall near Sarasota, Tampa Bay, Fort Myers. If you're in Key West right now, hunker down. You're not gonna get affected as bad, but this is gonna be a major problem for Florida. Hope everyone's been taking the precaution of a few days. This is our third or fourth video on this storm. We've been preparing you since Thursday of last week, as it's gonna make landfall tomorrow, like we were forecasting. I really hope you guys take the storm seriously. Do not mess around, because this could be a major hurricane with major impacts in Florida. So now we'll quickly take a look at the European model and the GFS model for you guys, just to see one more time. We'll show you guys why it will be a more of a north problem. Will be more north, not south, because as it makes landfall over here, it's like we've been telling you. We'll look at the relative humidity. It's gonna be sucking up a lot of dry air. Landfall here, just east of Sarasota, maybe near Pike County. It'll be over a lot of dry air to the south and to the east of the storm system, and north and west is where the moisture will be, and it'll have, oh, look at that. As it makes landfall near Orlando, once the center passes Orlando, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be a lot of messy up there, but then it'll wrap around a lot of dry air as a cold front that's going impacting Galesburg and Illinois and the Midwest. Insanely cold temperatures with frosts, advisories, all kinds of problems. It'll be impacting the storm system. That's a good thing, because it's going to be limiting the chance for it to grow and strengthen. As it makes landfall, it will weaken rapidly, and like that. So guys, thanks for this very first live stream. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I'll try to go live tomorrow, and hope you guys comment down what I should improve on. I might record a video later tonight. I don't know. I gotta do some schoolwork. So guys, thanks for understanding. Expect more live streams in the future, guys. Let's just watch the satellite imagery together of Hurricane Ian as it's gonna make its way near the coast of Florida. So guys, this was a 30 to 4. I think this was 45-minute live stream just for informing you guys that it's gonna be really bad. I'll probably go live tomorrow morning. I don't know what time. I gotta do other stuff too, but thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys can subscribe and hit the like button. I will watch this together. We'll monitor this together. We're here to support you guys, and yeah. Thank you so much, everybody, for all the support, and I'll catch you guys for another video, or maybe a live stream tomorrow morning. I'll let you guys know. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you guys for another video. Goodbye, everybody.